Welcome back to Strings and Pucks with Addy. This is Jeremy Laura, the stuttering guitarist. So Steve Yzerman signs Travis Hamonic for 1 year, $1 million. Last season, in 59 games for Ottawa, he had 1 goal, and his plus minus, he was a minus 16 on a team that is, quite frankly, better than Detroit. So that's concerning. But more concerning than that is, who thought this team needed another third pairing defenseman? There's a logjam. Righty and lefty both. You have that in spades. A guy who's possibly looking at an injury-shortened season. Let's say he gets 60 to 70 games. He'll get you 10 points, maybe a dozen points. I don't see where they don't have that already. And right now, of all the right shot defenders, I only put Moritz Seider as an automatic for the top 4 because no one else on any team in the league should be in that position. Somebody will be on the second pairing for Detroit because of the organizational depth. But if this were any other team, all the other righties that we know what they perform at, which means I'm excluding Sandin Pellikka, Tuomisto. The other guys' track record would slot them in at the third pairing right now. And we are hoping somebody can perform outside of that, but hope is not a good strategy for pro sports. Why is Yzerman signing another depth defenseman to load up Grand Rapids in case of injuries? Because that's the only thing that makes sense right now. Because we sent Johansson back to Sweden, and when he came over to Grand Rapids, he was physical, he was playing well. There was no reason to send him over to Sweden and not have him available as a call-up option if this is what you're going to bring into the organization. And this is nothing against Hamonic, right? If we didn't already have 4 of that player, 5 of that player, then no big deal. You bring him in for depth. But what they need is a top 4 defenseman, and they keep screwing that up. They keep missing on getting that player, and it is killing this team's ability to compete in the Atlantic this year. There's a lot of excitement or talk about a full year with McClellan and him saying that this is a team that could have made the playoffs last season. In the Atlantic, there were 5 teams that were better than Detroit last season, and I don't look at those 5 teams shy of insane injuries or some huge problem with the team. I don't look at Detroit being better than those teams right now either. Those teams, Stanley Cup champions, the Florida Panthers, recent Stanley Cup champions, the Tampa Bay Lightning, perennial regular season, dominators, whatever, the Toronto Maple Leafs. In season, they get the job done. They've lost Mitch Marner, but do you really think that's going to put them on a level where Detroit is now putting them in their place by the end of the season? And then Montreal and Ottawa, who both are farther ahead in their rebuilds. They have more talent. Montreal just brought in a defenseman that Detroit really needed to get in Dobson. They're getting better, faster. And here's Detroit adding another third pairing / healthy scratch / waiver bound defenseman. And obviously you can tell I'm pretty irritated about this. This makes no sense. The only redeeming value of this signing is if there's another corresponding move on the way. A move where they've finally made some headway with the Penguins. Maybe Carlson, right? Maybe Erik Karlsson has had a change of heart and decides he's fine playing in Detroit and not with a cup contender. I really doubt that, but maybe they brought Hamonic in because they've got a package, sending a bunch of pieces out to someone like Pittsburgh. And this would be the godsend of godsends, maybe they're having some really good talks with Calgary right now. Whatever the case is, if someone's not headed out of the organization after this Hamonic signing, this is problematic, and this by itself should be enough for people to be watching the Yzer plan under a microscope. Because at this point, after a failed summer where you're rumored to be in on Keandre Miller, he goes to Carolina. You're rumored to be in on Nicholas Hague, he goes to Nashville. You're rumored to be in on Dobson, he goes to Montreal. You put together a huge package for Ekblad before you ever knew if he was going to market. Obviously, he never does. Fail, fail, fail. Failed signings across the board. And how do you address the miss on a top 4 defenseman? You sign another third pairing / healthy scratch. The write-up lists him actually as a 5'7" defender, meaning some people have him slated as a scratch, right, as a backup. It's not good enough. It's not even close to good enough. Don't frame it that I'm trying to be hard on Hamonic or be mean to Hamonic. He's an NHLer. He's absolutely a depth piece a lot of teams would want, especially if they have a long run in the postseason. You need that. You need depth. That's the one thing Detroit has in spades is third pairing, fourth line, healthy scratch, waiver-bound players. They don't need another one. And I am hoping Yzerman comes out and looks like a genius because he put together a great package to bring in someone to reinforce the top 4, and we end up seeing Hamonic as a very good piece of a team that looks very different come puck drop after preseason. So let me know what you think. To me, this is a signing of you had extra money, you may as well fill up Grand Rapids and add another third pairing guy that's going to put someone else on waivers. Because I don't see a way to get around looking at that like that. And right now, I wish that wasn't just coffee, because this was a headache nobody needed. So please let me know in the comments. Is your frustration with this summer peaked, or are you letting it go? Do you see this team as greatly improved? Gibson is the upgrade right now in net, right? And then internally, whatever players do, they come in after the summer. Mazer could come to camp 20 pounds heavier than he was last year and ready to rock and blow everyone away and grab a third line spot. Great. That's fantastic. But for right now, this is another signing that I don't think the team needed. I hope I'm proven wrong. I hope either he performs well outside of expectation or that sets the team up for a deal that they had in mind, whether it's a trade, just moving someone out, whatever the case.